I've known John for years, not well, but always have liked you. You've never treated me with anything but respect. You've always been so nice to me. And there was always a disconnect between the guy you hear about in this reputation and who you were to my experience. John, why did you have or do you have that rep? And you know what I'm asking you, of course.
Yeah, maybe I could have deserved it. I don't know. We were younger, we broke balls, and I was a loud guy from the South, and a lot of people, I think, took that wrong. I can tell you, like with Morrow, there was never any malicious intent ever toward anything I said toward Morrow, anything I said on camera, that was all in character. But, some of it could be deserved. I'm not trying to rewrite my history. I wasn't a saint. We drank a lot back then, and, we ran the roads, and we always loved to crack on each other. It was just part of what we did. And I think a lot of people took that wrong, and some of it could have gone too far. I'm not trying to excuse anything I've done.
It's something, because we were talking about this before we got on the show. Like sometimes, because with you, for instance, I read the things about you, and when you get in character, when you're the heel, you're the freaking heel. You commit 100%. Right. When I read the thing about Germany, when you walked out and you did the salute and you start marching around, I go, okay, now I got a little bit of an idea what kind of guy he is. And because most of the time when you do that, you get so invested, and sometimes you carry that outside because it kind of feels good. We all like to play the real bad guy. And if it feels good, sometimes it rubs off a little bit in your normal life. You think that's something that happened also there with you?
Yeah, boss, I think there's any doubt about that. When we started, we protected the business 24/7. So I wrestled in Europe for Otto Vance, who was a childhood chum, Otto and Peter William in Austria and Germany. And you had to be in character 24/7. We lived on the parking lots outside of the carnival tents and had to wrestle. And so they wanted us in character all the time, not just in the ring. Walk around town, somebody tries to get an autograph for you, you bark at them. And that kind of carried forward. And I'm one of the last groups to have done that. And so, yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that some of that went too far. And some of it was me being in character. And again, I'm not trying to excuse myself. I'm just kind of explaining from my perspective kind of how it happened.
So what exactly happened then with Morrow? What was the thing that went on?
Well, there was a show that we did called Bring It to the Table. And that was one of the big contentious points. As far as, anything I said on camera, that was 100% in character. Anything I said backstage, I don't think there was anything. I can't speak for Morrow. So there was no malicious intent ever on anything backstage. I thought I got along with Morrow fairly well. But the show Bring It to the Table, Morrow had a travel problem. There was a snowstorm across the country, and he didn't make a show. And I'm not sure what all happened, but there was a snowstorm. He couldn't make travel. Those things happen. During that same time, we did this show called Bring It to the Table. And everybody points to that show as the point of me taking a shot at Morrow. Well, on that show, right before we did it, there was about 3 to 5 minutes we needed for the show. And I said, what can we do? And I said, hey, there's this internet poll that makes Morrow the #1 announcer. Could you do something on that? I said, yeah, of course. So when he went on the show, I did a rant on the show about, no, they're calling Morrow the #1 announcer. He's retweeted it, blah, blah, blah. 100% in character. And people talk about that poll, that I was so jealous of that poll that I went on TV and talked about it. I didn't know the poll existed until right before he went on the show. And that was me. I just assumed Morrow knew that was something I had done in character. In fact, when the show aired, Meltzer, the online guy who does all the backstage news, they said Meltzer's mad at you. And I hadn't heard that name in quite a while because it's behind a paywall, his stuff. So I didn't read it. I didn't keep up with it. And I said, why is he mad? And they said, well, that was his poll. I had no idea. I had no idea. People talk about so much how I was so mad about that poll. I had no idea the poll existed. That was just me being JBL on camera. And I think Morrow took that the wrong way. I hope he didn't. I hope now he realizes that was something that I did that was 100% in character. I saw Morrow, I think a few weeks later. Everything fell out, and I became the bad guy with everything. And I saw him. He was standing for a car, and he was on his phone. I think it was New Orleans. Anyway, I walked across the parking lot, and he was on his phone, so I couldn't talk to him. But I shook his hand, just went across, shook his hand. And he said, how you doing, man? I said, it's good, brother. And just left, just to let him know that There was no ill intent, at least of me toward him. I regret the whole situation. I wish that Morrow had known, for sure. I think that was one of the things that was really upsetting. I know it was upsetting to a lot of fans because they all talked about that show.
Yeah. Yeah, well, at least, you're in character. And then, on one side, you did something right, right? I mean, you were in character. So, yeah, I hope that it's good that you walked over. I hope that you guys can mend things also, that he sees it as well and can, just bury the hatchet.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full shoot interviews ad-free and help our channel grow. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.